It's just really difficult to hit this close to the pin. I mean, being in that front right portion, there's a bunker just short as well, so you can't really go at it, but like I said, just left of this flag is perfect. With the long iron in hand.
Ball was well above his feet there as well, making it even tougher.
Big bounce.
Yeah, quite a sharp mound in front of him there too. You can't help subconsciously trying to help it up in the air to avoid that. You get a little back on the back foot and it tends to go left, but he hasn't done badly.
No, that's a good leave. Fourth shot for Yannick Paul at the par 5 10th. Drove it in the left juck off the tee. Feed down, making a mess of a pretty simple hole. Yeah, really nothing happening on the front nine for Olesen all of a sudden. One good shot, holes a pitch for eagle. He's right there. 7 under and a share of 10th.
Worth another little look, isn't it? He's thinking, knock it stiff, let's get a birdie here. And from there it's just homing in. Better than a birdie. Fantastic.
So much to learn from that camera angle and his technique. Belly button facing the target on the follow through. Great rotation. Interesting to see where Victor Hovland's ball has ended up here at 10, because it looked pretty awful the way it skirted over the back left there.
There's definitely a bit of hit and hope in this.
Hoisting it well up in the air.
Really good shot. I mean, that could have just come out dead and come back to his feet. Could have come out like a rocket over the other side. He won't be disappointed with that.
Back to the other par 5. The third hole. 3 good tee shots. All 3 players with pretty good seconds as well. Outside chances of eagle, but you'd think they'd all pick up at least 1 stroke here.
.96 feet for Schauffele. Well, Incy Schauffele, man, judging pace from there is going to be something, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. I'm just actually having a look at all 3 balls, and for Schauffele and Garrick Higo, they've got a long way to go. Might need to pull my Bushnell out, actually.
Easiest hole on the golf course this week, the par 5 third. 137 birdies.
Get quite a lot of his Fitbit steps in on this putt.
McIlroy at 12. Tom Kim's moved to 10. Harmon and Burns at 9. Both Fleetwood and Schauffele would be expecting to walk off this green at least 9 under par. What score will be in the final group tomorrow? Have you got to get it to 11 or 12, do you think?
You would think. I think it depends on the wind. It got up earlier. It got up to be quite strong. And just looking out of our commentary position window, it does seem to have died a little. What do you think? It's not much wind out there, is there, at the moment?
It has completely died out, Tony. It definitely picked up kind of early on in the day. It's just completely flat calm right now. I'm even looking at the tops of the trees and it's just died out. Garrick Higo up first. This is a lengthy eagle putt, just shy of 75 feet. This is going to be breaking off his right to start off with. And it should come back the other way. Watch this guy.
so long, these putts, and the undulations. The greens have these, it's almost like creases in the green. There's the big humps and hollows, but there's so many little crumples.
Yeah, and especially for Xander Schauffele right now, he's going to deal with 2 mini mounds, so breaking off the right and then back the other way. So tough to get yourself to hit it.
He left it well short on the previous hole. Paul made a mess of the par 5 10th. This for a par. Well, I didn't see this coming after the birdie at 4, eagle at 5. He was thriving. But the handbrake's been pulled up and going in the other direction. A couple of bogeys since. Long eagle putt for Fleetwood at 3. That was to move into a share of second. Excellent try, and that's a birdie. Moves to 9 under par, just 3 behind McIlroy. Currently in a share of third. What a round. What a player. It's been a wonderful last month. Lost a playoff at the Canadian Open to Nick Taylor, and then top 5 at the US Open Championship. Everything trending very nicely for the Open next week for Fleetwood.
Yeah, I think we were quite surprised with his even par 70 on day one in benign conditions. But you know what, if that turns out to be his worst round of the week, happy days.
And that's a point that we've touched upon as well the first couple of days, is these good players, these elite players, just have a knack of turning a poor round into even par or better, not shooting themselves in the foot and out of the tournament. Big putt here for Schauffele. That's a severe misjudgment leaving it this far short, but this to move to 9 under par, join Fleetwood in third position. Absolutely robbed. Things came very easily, the front 9 for Schauffele, but it's just been a bit of a struggle the last 3 holes. Frustration for the American.
Victor Hovland, great pitch out of that long rough for the birdie. No, didn't really threaten. And Higo rolling his in. Nice. First birdie of the day for Garrick Higo. Just starting to turn things around, thankfully.
Once again, a bit of movement on the leaderboard here on day 3 of the Genesis Scottish Open. All players, their third round underway. McIlroy, a couple of birdies in his first 3 holes, has opened up a 2-stroke lead. Tommy Fleetwood in our feature group coverage. Big move today, 5 under through 12. He's in a share of third, playing alongside Xander Schauffele. Tyrrell Hatton, 4 Rolex Series victories. You expect him to be there tomorrow. Par 4 11th, Ollison on the tee, coming off that eagle at 10.
Another one leaked right. just wondering, isn't he? Where's that one coming from? What do I do to sort it out? I've tried 3 things already.
It'll be a good mental test this side for Hovland. Things were coming pretty easily the first 7 holes, but has stalled since that double at 8. There's some good birdie opportunities this side. It's not going to be easy from the right rough there at 11.
You definitely have options off this tee. You can lay it back a little bit shorter, give yourself a fuller shot in, or get the driver down there. I believe Tommy Fleetwood's clubbing down to the fairway metal. The only thing you need to worry about then is that left bunker, 282 yards to carry. So maybe eyeing up the right half here, and if it runs out, should hug the left. It's downwind as well, so if it is a 3-wood in hand, it'll probably end up where the driver normally does.
Down the left side, will it hang on? That should be fine.
Tell you what, that was a really close call for Tommy Fleetwood, choosing a club where that bunker is perfectly in play. Garrett Kigger, I prefer this with the driver in hand. Needs to work this left to right, which would be a draw. Also goes with the shape of the hole as well. It does camber a little bit left to right. Perfect.
Absolutely ideal. Well, obviously very important to hit the fairway here at number 4 because it's a genuine birdie opportunity if you're in the short grass, but
Well, Xander Schauffele with the fairway metal once again. If you hit this too straight, the rough comes into play and that pot bunker. Need to shape this left to right if you can.
Come on, Tommy.
Into the long stuff.
speaking of long stuff, that's where Oleson's playing from. Here at 11, second shot. Trying to release it up there. He's played it nicely. You're not too disappointed with a par here at 11.
Especially out of the rough. It was well played. Well worked out.
Well, looks like a good lie here for Hovland. Coming out of the rough though, does he fly it all the way? Or does he try and release it? Going for the latter and doing it very, very well.
I like that. You know, often these days when people get into a flyer lie, they go, oh, it's going to come out a club further, so I'll go down a club, and they hit it as hard as they can, and all they do is make it come out 2 clubs hotter. And the secret has always been out of a potential flyer lie, take a club more and hit it softly. You'll get way less of a flyer like that. Yannick Paul, oh dear. It's come out a bit swift. Ooh, hang on. It's done a U-turn. It's on the green, but that is going to be one tricky putt.
weather's forecast to be pretty ordinary this afternoon, but hopefully it holds off, because I'm sure these players would love to do a little bit of sightseeing. And it's a wonderful city to explore here in Edinburgh, North Berwick, about 35-40 minutes east of the city. It's an outdoors enthusiast paradise here. Population 5.5 million in Scotland. Edinburgh itself just over 500,000. So many wonderful sights to see. Of course, Edinburgh Castle, over 1,500 castles here. The cannon goes off at 1 p.m. every day except Sundays. 900 offshore islands, 600 square miles of freshwater locks, and of course, as we know, the home of golf. Now, I've been walking around town this week, Tony, and so many foreigners here on golf trips with their friends, and of course the wives going shopping while they're off at the golf course, and the pub culture here, the whiskey distilleries, the shopping, it's for everyone.
Yeah, I have friends come from all over the world a week before the Open. You know, the Open's a big goal, obviously, but yeah, the chance to come and watch the Genesis Scottish Open, play these wonderful links courses, and make a real lifetime adventure out of it.
If you love your sport, there's about a month-long stretch here in the UK where you are in heaven. The Ashes cricket, Wimbledon, Scottish Open, the Open Championship, Formula One was on at Silverstone.
Very hard to beat, isn't it?
It's incredible.
Well, this was a close shave, wasn't it? 159 yards to go. Just flirting with that pop bunk on the fairway, but in prime position now. Pins in that back left section. And as long as you make the carry about halfway up, it all kind of trickles down a little bit front to back. I just think 9-9's a little bit too much down breeze, so it's got to be a wedge, I would have thought. Maybe just back footing it, keeping the flight down, but you can probably tell that Fleetwood's a little bit indecisive, probably in between clubs right now.
How much did he miss that bunker by, Incy?
Just like 3 paces.
Gotta be, because that's isn't it?
I mean, it was pretty close.
We can't quite, or couldn't quite see the ball position, but it's got a wonderful angle now, but could have been hack-out territory.
No, it's sitting nice, just really in between clubs, I reckon, for Fleetwood, just trying to determine which way that wind direction is. From what I can feel, it's died down, but it should be down off the left. Like I said, just an easy 9-9, if not a flighted down wedge would be perfect.
Just a little gust of wind, perhaps. Just Ian Finnis just calling him back off it. Hang on a sec, Tommy.
I don't know about you guys in the box, but I always feel as though the best way to figure out which way the wind is to look at the highest point first. What's the cloud saying? And then look at the top of trees just to figure out the strength of it, and then throw the grass last.
Don't you carry a handkerchief in your pocket? What's that left?
Yeah, trying to squeeze the soft one in there and tugging it.
As is often the case, it goes a little bit long when you pull it. It won't be too bad on a little bit of an upslope.
Xander Schauffele's got away with this big time. It's a good lie. From 138 yards, a good angle in as well. It's just an easy gap wedge. And it will take 1 hop forwards when it lands, just coming out of this. But then it should be enough to grab.
Very well played from Xander Schauffele. Not easy to judge the distance, and he's done that very well.
Awkward putt here for Yannick Paul. Couple of little humps and hollows. A lot of break from right to left and quick from there. Judged it pretty well. You almost can't hit it far enough right there. The further you hit it right, the more it breaks left. He's done okay. If you're wondering why the players are wearing black ribbons, it's for Billy McColl, who played the European Tour for a number of years in the 80s. Scottish player, wee Billy, we used to call him, little guy, who was a fabulous striker of the ball, passed away very unexpectedly on Monday, so rest in peace, Billy. We're all thinking about you.
Yeah, here, only 66 years of age as well. Slow putt here for Olesen. This one's very difficult to gauge the pace. Easy to leave this short, Tony.
Yeah, no doubt. Slow, and that's pretty good. I mean, 10 on the stimp meter is slow for these players, isn't it? Really is.
It is
hard to make yourself headed up those hills, especially.
That one was about 5 or 6 going up the hill. Hovland double at 8, didn't birdie 10 the par 5. This for a birdie at 11.
He's got it lined up dead straight. And
Well
it
read.
was beauty.
Oh, red. He's got an interest. His follow through on his putts is not too dissimilar to Henrik Stenson, where the putter almost goes to the right after the follow through rather than arcing around to the left.
Sevi did it. Ollie does it.
Correct.
Colin Montgomery always did it.
Correct.
You know, through the ball, and then the putter sort of goes away from them.
Par putt here for Yannick Paul. Not an easy one. It looks like it's got to move from right to left, but it's the same line as Hovland's. His was dead straight, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'd be looking at right centre, right half.
Well done. 1 under par on the round for the German, but 2 over his last 5 holes.
It was a decent effort for Tommy Fleetwood. You could clearly tell that he was a little bit indecisive there with the second shot gone long. And I really thought he would have chipped this. It's quite a tasty shot, feels quite holdable, but with the flat stick in hand, or should I say upright club in hand, you can take a bit more bobble early on. Breaking off the right.
Okay, that'll do it. Did take a couple of bounces, didn't it? Just took that 18 inches of pace off it, perhaps, but good effort. 12th tee.
Almost aced it yesterday, Tony. Remember, it was dancing around the hole, but I don't expect too many players close here today. It's a very difficult flag at the front. Apart from Victor Hovland.
Wow.
But you had to land that into the French.
Oh, yeah, really, you have to, you know, you'd put a towel down there. You've got to land it on that. Great shot.
A very good effort out of the rough. This is breaking off the left, back up the hill as well. It's got a decent amount of swing on this. There's a leaderboard on the side of this green. I've seen Schauffele take a good look at it too, so he knows where he stands.
Yeah, again, just struggling with the slower pace. And visibly just a little frustrated there. I wonder what speed they'll have the greens running at the Open Championship next week at Hoylake.
I guess a lot will be dependent on the breeze as well and the conditions.
Yeah, you just can't take the risk. You can't take the risk of speeding them up because, you know, you get a 30 or 40 mile an hour wind, suddenly you've got to call play and you have delays and it just gets messy. good birdie chance here for Garrick Hago. Chance to make back-to-back birdies. Would be a good turnaround. Yeah, good lad. Well done.
Back to just 1 over par on the round. And if he can get it round, a couple more birdies, get it round in under par for the day, that would be a really, really commendable effort after his struggles early on. Just looking at the weather forecast for Liverpool next week, Tony, and Thursday through Sunday, it's got a cloud and 13 to 17 degrees every single day.
And
so very similar to here, really.
No wind forecast.
Doesn't say too windy.
Okay.
Well, this should be a formality. Well, not a gimme. It's a left centre putt for Schauffele. Well done. Last 2 times the Open Championship has been played at Royal Liverpool, it couldn't have been more different. 06 it was completely brown and baked out when Tiger won, and then it was wet, soft and lush when Rory won in 14.
Yeah. All depends, doesn't it, on what kind of a summer we're having.
Was it just across the road at Gullen in 2018? I remember watching that and it was completely brown and baked out as well.
That's right.
Good 4 for Fleetwood. Remains just 3 strokes behind our leader, Rory McIlroy. Another one left for Yannick Paul at the par 3 12th. That's way offline. Second shot. That's 40 yards offline with an 8-iron in hand.
It's a long way. Thankfully, he's followed it with a really good chip.
Well, we've seen this short par 4 fifth play completely differently over the first 3 days into the breeze day 1, which is how it is today. It was downwind yesterday.
Ooh, that little pot bunker there. Short left. It loves the taste of golf balls, just eats them up.
Ludwig Arberg almost made an ace here yesterday, drove it to a couple of feet.
You know, you're talking about Hoylake. We played a tournament there, I think it was 1980. It was the Merseyside Open. And in those days, we used to go to the course in buses and taxis, and I was on the bus with my buddy Dave Stratton, South African guy that we travelled with. The bus was rocking from side to side. We got to the course at 11 o'clock, and the day's play was cancelled. 40-mile-an-hour winds, gusting to 80. I mean, the first hole's a par 4. I think 9 guys had finished the first hole. There was 1 par, and the next best was 6.
That's phenomenal. Well, of course, when any player drives the green here at the 5th hole, 100 trees will be planted in collaboration with 1 tree planted. But I'm not sure that will happen today, Tony, because back into the breeze, I think if you get it within 40 or 50 yards, it'll be a good job. But you can see Garrick's just got a hybrid in hand.
If you can't drive this green today, it's pretty much straight off the left, if anything hurting a touch. You're better off actually laying back a touch. Garrick Higo, with the hybrid it looks like, just gives you a little bit more club in for the next, because you need that bit of spin with where that pin's located today.
Yeah, I'm with you, Yancy. I think if you can't get it on the green, lay it back and have some control.
Yeah, that pin's just on that front left section. You've got a big false front as well, so if you're a bit too close, there's just so many humps and hollows to contend with. So Tommy Fleetwood looking to do similar sort of thing, perhaps hug the right half with a long iron in hand.
Pretty sociable, about 4 inches apart.
I mean, they couldn't do that if they tried. To be 4 inches away from each other.
Well, they used to say that when Ben Hogan played 36 holes in the Open, in the afternoon he he was so consistent he had hit it into the morning's divot. But you know what, if he was that good, he would have aimed it 4 inches left of the divot. It's total nonsense.
That was Xander Schauffele hitting it around the 230 mark off the tee.
All in ideal position there. Back into a bit of a breeze. Good play for that front flag.
Par 3, 12th. This is the second for Olesen, and this is right around, where Victor Hovland's tee shot pitched. And you can see it can go one way or the other. It can come up short very easily.
Well, look how tiny that flat area is. That's a tough flag, isn't it? And a good putt from Olesen.
You mentioned the 1980 Merseyside Open. I remember speaking, I came through the Jack Newton Junior Golf Foundation in Australia, and I remember Jack Newton used to tell me stories about how in the early days of the European Tour there'd be a bunch of Australians that came over and they travelled together and they basically pooled their money together. So any money that any player made
into the kitty,
it went into the kitty and they all split it. So you might win 4 events in a row and your mate might miss 4 cuts in a row.
You split it.
You split it.
Yeah, the money was small. I mean, that tournament in 1980, total purse, £15,000.
Different, completely different era. Hovland. That's birdie at 12. He birdied it yesterday. Back to 6 under par. Good bounce back after the double at 8.
By the way, that tournament, one of my enduring memories in the Pro-Am, Ewan. In the Pro-Am, I shot 92. My 8 handicap amateur shot 91. What a highlight of my career.
So you played to your handicap. Rory McIlroy leading the way here on day 3 of the Genesis Scottish Open at 12 under par. The third of 5 Rolex Series events on the season for the DP World Tour. A couple of Scotsmen there, Grant Forrest, Bob McIntyre, 7 under. Brian Fox going along nicely today. Shane Lowry, 64 yesterday. A couple under on his round. You know he's going to have a chance next week at Royal Liverpool. Ashan Wu got off to a poor start today. Nice bounce back from him. Luke List, the American, hits it a mile. Good start for him, 4 under through 8 holes. Harrington and Højgaard playing together today, 22 and 53 years old respectively. Rough start, 1 over par, and surprisingly, the world number 1 over par through 6 holes as well, Scotty Scheffler. Matthew Jordan, Tony's been playing some good golf lately, and he pre-qualified for the Open next week at his home club, Royal Liverpool. That'll be fun.
Well, this was a good call laying back off the tee. The further back you are, the more spin you can generate. If you're too close, it's just too difficult to get this pin. There's a nasty pot bunker just short of it too, but these guys are good enough to take that out of play. From 96 yards, just eyeing up a couple of yards right of this flag. There's a little ridge, it should kick it left a bit.
I'm afraid it is a little.
It's just stalled a little bit, this 9, Schauffele, hasn't he? Out in 30 strokes, and not that he's playing poorly, but it's not quite as sharp.
Tommy Fleetwood from 88 yards. Just about missed this divot that you could probably see. Won't affect the shot at all. Just a little bit sandy underfoot. Can you whiz it back?
Just average. And these players would be disappointed as well, because coming up, you've got a very difficult stretch to finish the round. Yannick Paul with an iron off 13. Oh, he's lost his swing, Yannick Paul.
Thankfully, there's that big slope on the right side of the fairway.
It's pretty much two peas in a pod. Garrick Higo also from 88 yards. Needs that spin.
Yeah, good shot. A good chance for 3 consecutive birdies to get it back to level for the round. Good fight back for the South African. He's kept a wonderful demeanour today for someone who was struggling his opening 9 holes. A lot to learn from that as Olesen hits his tee shot at 13.
Also with the iron, just playing for position. Just trying to find a flat area. It's a very slopey fairway, and it's hard to find a flat stance. I think the ball's going to be just below his feet there.
Panning back to the tee, Olesen and Paul taking iron here at 13. Hovland has the driver out. Remember, they've moved the tee up 50 yards, so it's playing 362 yards, only around 350 to the front. He thinks he can get somewhere near there. I know you'd be waiting, Tony.
They would have been out of my range 2 hours ago. I mean, this is a bold play. If it works, it'll be fabulous to watch.
Well, the wind is off the right. Remember, Tommy Fleetwood hit driver this morning, but he mishit it a little bit. He was about 50 yards short. Breeze has picked up a little bit since then. If he can just get it riding a little bit on that breeze, chase it up there.
And you know what? If you do lose it right, you can get away with it, but anywhere left is a disaster.
Posing. He likes it. Let's see how close this can get. Come on. Oh, come on. You could not have placed that any better, could you? Oh,
that's lovely though, isn't it? Look, got the whole green to work with. Flag up in the back left. That was worth the risk.
Definitely. He's left himself a pretty straightforward pitch from there, coming off back-to-back birdies. Well done from Victor Hovland.
Xander Schauffele will be a little bit disappointed with that pitch shot from only 96 yards. Work to do for his birdie. Just subtly downhill, breaking off his left. Just gradually all the way.
I think this is an important putt, Nancy. Out in 30 strokes, made the bogey at 1. He didn't birdie the par 5 third. He's got some tough holes coming up.
Definitely feels important, Ewan.
Break.
Just one of those, it feels as though he hasn't really converted on those holes where he had the opportunities to.
No, and it's not been poor play, but certainly would have liked a couple more. These last few holes, 8 under par.
Well, he's dealt with the tough bits really well.
Yes, he has. He's currently in a share of 8th alongside the US Open champion, Wyndham Clark.
He just wants a sniff, doesn't he, tomorrow? Get within striking distance. A lot of it dependent on what Rory McIlroy does, currently at 12 under.
Well, this is moving the other way for Tommy Fleetwood with that claw grip breaking off his right gently.
This to move into a share of 2nd with Tom Kim.
This would be a terrific recovery. This for 3 birdies in a row, as you said, Ewan. And you're right, his demeanour has been fantastic. I mean, nothing was going right on that front line, was it? His driving was awry. Iron play wasn't good. Putting was very indifferent. And this to get back to even par. Go on.
Very, very well done and very commendable for Gary Kigo. He's actually only 4 strokes outside the top 10 now. Second for Yannick Paul. Can he finish with 2 hands on the club? He's not been as sharp as he'd like since the 6th hole. Solid.
It's quite a hard left to right slope left of the flag, so you can afford to be very aggressive with this. And if you tug it a little, you're not going to get into any trouble. It'll come back to the hole.
Conservative generally doesn't come into the equation for Ollison. He's an aggressive player.
Poor.
Not great.
By his standards, he'd be annoyed with that. Really annoyed.
Our first feature group, Shoffley, Higo and Fleetwood, have made their way to the terrific little par 3, the 6th hole. Plays a little bit downhill, 136 yards today. The flag in the middle, it's probably actually one of the trickier hole locations on the green.
It was only 124 yards to that front flag in round 1, and it was one of the hardest holes on the golf course.
Well, it's such a narrow neck there at the front of the green as well.
Tiny.
Of course, the DP World Tour excited to announce the launch of the Nearest the Pin this week, a new game for fans to be played both on-site and at home this year, bringing you closer to the action on the DP World Tour. Rules are simple. For each of the 5 game featured groups, select 1 golfer and the distance that you think they'll hit their tee shot from the pin on the 6th throughout the week. Earn 3 points for correctly predicting the golfer that hits it nearest the pin, and score a bonus point if you predict the right distance bracket. 20 points are up for grabs each day, right up until Sunday. Compete with family, friends and golf fans from all over the world.
Well, the par 3 6th is an absolutely stunner of a hole. I think it's brilliant. It's not particularly long, and the pin today is in a really tricky spot. You've got no bailout left or right, huge runoff areas and bunkers. You've got to be extremely precise with your tee shot. Just massaging a gap wedge perhaps for Higo.
Well, he got that to stop nicely behind the hole, because we've seen a couple of players already that hit it 15, 20 feet past, and it caught the slope and went further towards the back of the green.
Yeah, it really forces accuracy. You've got to be all over it. Tommy Fleetwood hits his gap wedge 125 yards. Pitching wedge goes 142. So once again, a little bit in between, but typically you're better off taking a little bit off it than trying to rip one. And the breeze is straight off the left.
The only way someone like Tommy Fleetwood hits a shot like that is purely indecision.
Yeah, I think
Lack
you're
of
right.
commitment.
I think you're right. You know, you're sheltered by the clubhouse on the left. There are trees left of the green. Struggling to feel the wind, but not too often you'll see Tommy Fleetwood hit an iron shot that starts that far offline. Very rare.
And really looking at all the troubles that surrounds this flag, there isn't a preference if you want to miss it left or right. Either way, you're going to have an elevated shot for the next outer bunker or a tight lie and be short-sighted. You just have to be accurate with this.
accuracy is his middle name.
Pretty good. I'll be pleased with that. It's interesting that Incy said Tommy Fleetwood hits his wedge 142 yards. I'll get back to that in a sec. Hovland's second shot ball way above his feet. Oh my goodness.
Dear, oh dear. But he was aiming so far right to the hole. It's almost like he was aiming right at the hole and he tries to pull it back on line. And it was just a...
Look at that now.
It was just a flat out chunk.
Just going back to that point about Fleetwood, hits at 142 yards. How do you know you hit at 100? It changes, to me, it changes every single time. Every hole it could go a different distance. But I mean, you're playing uphill, downhill, different climates, different everything.
Yeah, I mean, these guys will work out their distances in ideal conditions. I always used to try and work out my distances when it was 25 degrees at sea level on a calm day. So you had a benchmark to work from, but you're right, it'll change every day. Oh, this is not easy either, especially when you've just duffed one.
That was a great camera angle.
And that was a half duff.
That showed you what Hovland was working on there, moving the body as he hits it towards the target. I don't know if that was the right play either. And I wouldn't say that the driver didn't pay off from the tee, because he was actually in a pretty good position. And this is a shame, because after that double at 8, he's just gone birdie, birdie.
But we know... Oh, he's angry. His chipping has been his bugbear. And we've seen him hit some great chips this week and this morning. We say, well, it's improving, and then suddenly it's a horror story again.
Olesen, birdie putt. This was a fairly poor wedge to this point as well. Breaker from right to left.
Tracking.
Oh! Olesen really hasn't done much at all today, and if that had have dropped, he was inside the top 10.
I probably would have got fined for what I would have said there. Quickly to Fleetwood. A difficult bunker shot and fantastically played. Those bunkers are a horror story.
Well, it's just so difficult to judge the pace, spin, when you're so far below the level of the surface, the putting surface, and exquisitely done.
I mean, this is quite hard to believe, isn't it? He's left with a brutal par putt. I mean, he's going to take 2 putts from here. He'll be happy. Walk off with a 5. You're 20 yards short of the green with your drive. It's ugly.
We just had so much flat area up near the flag there and past it to the right of it.
Oh! That would have been the par. That would have been the par of the day.
And that goes in with the flag out.
Might have.
Would have. And hit dead centre.
I think his brain's slightly scrambled at the moment, yeah. I mean...
I'm going down to get that ball when we're done here.
It'll be on eBay tomorrow, won't it?
It's as if Garrett Higgins just switched the on button. Had a slow start to start off with. But what a shot this was on 6. Uphill part, breaking off his right.
Very nearly 4 birdies in a row for Garrick Hirgo. Did you rock the flat bill, flat cap back in the day? Or did you like to have a little bit of curve to it?
No, they used to give them to me with a curve. I used to flatten them out. I'm a bit old school, And my son used to get on my case. Dad, the peak of your cap is flat, it's straight, bend it, get away. I'm your father, I'll do what I like.
Yeah, slightly trickier putt to read. It's a little bit flatter from this side of the green. I'm pretty sure I got my left and rights mixed up with Higo's putt. I meant to say left to right.
Don't worry, NC, we're with you. We've been doing it all day.
I don't know why, the left and rights don't move, but as soon as you're a left-handed golfer, it just all seems to change. Now Xander Schauffele feels like he just needs this one.
Yeah, just to get something ticking over again. And again, lacking in pace. He's been doing that for the last 6 holes, really.
That was to make an 8-way tie for third at 9 under par. Schauffele and Fleetwood, they need a big finish to be in the final group like I boldly predicted early on, and it's going to be hard. 3 tough holes to finish. Yannick Paul birdie putt at 13. Left to right. Oh, beautifully done for the German. Gets it to 6 under par, 2 under on the round.
Fleetwood, after that fine bunker shot. That really is a beautiful up and down. Can't tell you how tough that bunker shot was. Made it look simple.
Just the one drop shot today for Tommy Fleetwood at the difficult par 3 17th. 6 birdies, 5 under on the round. And this is how things currently stand. More movement on that leaderboard. Round 3 of the Genesis Scottish Open. Look at Eric Cole, the PGA Tour rookie. He's had multiple chances to win this season. 6 under for the round. Tom Kim, another birdie. He's just 1 behind Rory McIlroy. It's getting very, very bunched. Shane Lowry, 71-64, hold 1,000 feet of putts yesterday. Wyndham Clark just dropped a shot at 11. He was 8 under par. McIntyre, Lingmerth, Fox, Dietrich, Hatton going backwards. I'm a little surprised by that, but plenty of time to make up for it.
And I'm pretty sure he will. There's no harder trier than Tyrrell Hatton.
Yannick Paul in our feature group coverage today hasn't had his best stuff, but grinding it out. 2 under for the round. Davis Riley shot 63 on day 1. I've been treading water since. Dale Whitner, popular winner at the Scandinavian Mixed a few weeks ago. Jordan Smith, what a ball striker he is.
We had a lot of fun yesterday watching Ricky Fowler, didn't we? So nice to see so many of the Americans over here playing.
And no one embraces it. Links golf better than Ricky Fowler, of course, a winner back in 2015 across the road at Gullen. Yannick Paul, par 3 14th. He's got the lefts today.
That little stone wall just right and beyond the flag is definitely going to be in their consciousness.
It's really been ideal scoring conditions here on day 3. Of course, the DP World Tour moved tee times up today with the forecast for inclement weather this afternoon. I'm sure these players are all very grateful for that. Have an opportunity to do some sightseeing this afternoon.
Good shot from Olesen. I think the majority of players there today will come up a little shy of that flag, understandably.
We've got a tough few holes coming up. You've got 7, 8, 9. This is a long par 4, slightly down breeze off his right. Looking to work this left to right. The draw will be perfect here. Just needs to be watched for that bunker in the middle of the fairway. It's small, but it does gather. It's gone a mile.
182 mile an hour ball speed. That's Rory McIlroy territory.
I mean, that second bunker is 334 yards to reach. I guess slightly down breeze, it is definitely reachable, but still requires a big hit. Tommy Fleetwood with the driver as well, teeing it up on the right hand side.
Very high tee.
Trying to launch this one, ride the wind, right to left. Should be able to carry that bunker.
Yeah, that's perfect. Carried at 292 yards.
With this wind.
Well, it's 302 yards to carry that bunker. Tee's been moved up just a hair as well, so with down breeze off the right, if you get it launching up in the air, should be able to make that carry and almost take it out of play, but you need to strike it out the middle. A slight miss hit and you're in trouble.
Launching it slightly lower than Fleetwood's. Didn't see that finish. There is a bunker there. Being told that has found the bunker. Did you used to tee your persimmon driver up that high?
If I teed my persimmon driver up that high, I would have gone underneath the ball by 2 inches. Hovland. Will he be aggressive? He tends to be.
No, he needs to be after that drop shot on the previous hole, but not a bad play, just coming up a little shy.
It's funny with the persimmon how low we used to tee it, because the Bellata ball was so spinny. It used to climb and we used to tee it down at ground level.
But it's a completely different technique, isn't it? You used to sweep it, now you hit up on it. Rory McIlroy's made another birdie at the difficult par 4-7. 13 under with a 2-shot lead here on day 3 of the Genesis Scottish Open, the 3rd Rolex Series event of the year on the DP World Tour. Shane Lowry, JT Poston going along very nicely. Fleetwood and Shoffley in our feature group coverage. They were 4 and 5 under par respectively through 9 holes. Max Homa going along very nicely, as to McIntyre, another birdie inside the top 10. Love to see him right there in contention tomorrow. What are you doing this afternoon, Tony? We'll have plenty of time on our hands. Are you maybe go to Edinburgh Castle or go hike Ben Nevis or something?
No, there's a lovely little nature reserve in Aberlady where we stay. And they've got wonderful bird life, magnificent butterfly life, wildflowers. That's my game.
What are a couple of birds native to this area? What should we be keeping an eye on?
Well, you know, we've seen photos of Fidra Island, which has got the largest northern gannet colony in the world. And they have puffins. Jamie Spence and I actually went out to Bass Island last year to see the puffins. It was lovely. Big storm in the background there, by the way, on the left side of the screen, as Yannick Paul sizes up this birdie putt.
You are an encyclopedia when it comes to wildlife, Mr. Johnstone. I knew you'd have an answer. Puffins, are they native to Iceland, or are they prominent in Iceland?
Yeah, you get them in Iceland. I mean, you get them up a lot on the
Shetland Islands,
Shetland Islands, northern Scotland, and it's a great place to see them, just off the coast here.
Hovland. No interest in puffins at the moment, coming off the bogey at 13. Long birdie putt here at 14. Have you been to Norway?
No.
It's actually,
I haven't.
I would love to. I've only ever flown into Oslo, but it's phenomenal how many good players are coming from Norway, where you would think you can only play golf for less than half a year.
I know. All of the Scandinavian countries. Oh dear.
Yeah, unfortunately Xander Schauffele's found that pot bunker in the middle of the fairway, just looking to put this back onto the short stuff. You can't advance it too much just because of how steep that revetted face is.
That's a pity. You know, you could aim at that bunker 10 times in a row and not hit it in there. Olesen is to get to 8 under par, which is in a share of 10th.
Now what's going through his mind? Yannick Paul left his putt short. Well short. Hovland smashed it by on a similar line. Yeah, not a surprise. After seeing the Norwegians putt sail on past.
Higo hugging the left side, just avoiding that fairway bunker. Perfect tee shot from Tommy Fleetwood, but only 3 birdies on this hole today. It's a tough one, Incy.
It really is. And once again, Tommy Fleetwood's in between clubs. It feels like it's been like that for him all day today. 169 yards to go. And his 8-iron goes 173, but his 9-iron's 161. It's slightly down breeze off the right, but it's one of those, it just depends on the type of shot that you fancy. If you want to back foot it, draw it, it's a 9-iron. If you want to take a bit off it and maybe hold it against the breeze, then it's the 8. You can tell, once again, he's unsure what he wants to do. I'm unsure if I should take another bite of my banana or not.
Go on, do it.
Yep, in between clubs. For me, with everything cambering right to left, just shy of this green, I prefer that punchy, drawy 9-iron.
Absolutely cracking shot from Tommy Fleetwood. You know, he hit a beautiful hold-off shot at 18, his 9th hole of the day. He's hit another terrific shot in there. That's not an easy flag to get near.
Oh, thank you, God, for making me a left-hander.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're a right-handed golfer, you would have had no chance with this shot. You've got to sometimes have a bit of luck. 161 yards from a launch pad of a lie. It's an easy 9-iron, if not the wedge. I think he's going for the wedge. Going to muller this. Nope, he's eased out of it.
Oh, superb shot from Garrick Higo. Different golfer this 9, Tony.
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable, isn't it? A split personality.
You've got to love the fight, though, don't you?
Love it.
Par putt for Hovland, coming off a bogey at the previous hole. Look at the weather in the background there. Just hold off for another 2.5 hours, please. Good putt from Victor.
Those wear you down, don't they? Those return 5 and 6 footers.
This is third shot for Xander Schauffele from 143 yards. Found that pot bunker. Pin that front right portion of the green. You need to fly it all the way. Throw darts at it.
Holding it off, and he likes it. Yeah, as well he should. Good shot. Well, Schauffele and Garrick Higo would have had a great 4-ball score today, wouldn't they?
Wouldn't they just? Yeah, Schauffele, I mean, just came out the blocks so hot, didn't he? 5 under after 7 holes, and then he's followed that with, what, 7 pars and 1 bogey. Just, it hasn't been bad, but the birdie run came to an abrupt halt.
It's certainly been a rock-solid defence as we take a look overhead at the difficult par 4 15th, 488 yards. It's kind of elongated angle, this fairway. It's not easy to hit. It's certainly one of the harder holes on the golf course. We saw Rory McIlroy in the Wednesday Pro-Am use a persimmon driver. Our colleague John Morgan used his persimmon driver. The Joe Powell up here carried it all of 255 yards, 168 mile per hour ball speed. Yannick Paul, you know his ball speed will be higher than that. He's just been a little askew with this club today.
Wind down and off the right. Oh, headed to the thick stuff.
He has had the lefts today. Nearly every single shot. All since I said he never hits it left.
It's all your fault. I'm blaming you.
Boy, he's in good shape, Olesen, isn't he? He is ripped. Yeah, all lie dependent.
It was a good effort with the second shot. A downhiller coming up though for birdie for Garrett Kigo, sliding up his left side. He's kind of hung on today. It's definitely a slow start, but finding some sort of rhythm.
Unlucky for Higo. Boy, I'd love to see him get it around in under par today. Currently level for the round. 3 over through 9 holes.
It has definitely warmed up out here. I'm currently wearing way too many layers right now. It's one of those things, as soon as you take your waterproofs off, it's going to absolutely start chucking it down. Instead, I'm just going to sit and sweat it out.
Sweating in Scotland is not a phrase you hear too often.
No. It's got a ring to it, though. Sweating in Scotland. Uphill putt for Xander Schauffele. Just a hair off his left. Just feels like he needs to make this. This is obviously for par.
Yeah, I think you're right, Incy. I think this would be big in the greater picture, wouldn't it? It would be a fine 4. Hold a load of these in the first 7 holes. And he's held a few good par savers from this range too. No, it's just faded a bit. This 9.
Olesen and Paul both finding the long rough left of 15. What can Hovland do?
There's a nest of 4 bunkers down the right. And if you carry those, there's another one further up, but he's managed to get in between them all. That's okay.
Back to 7 and a big chance for Tommy Fleetwood here to get to double figures and inside the top 4.
Yeah, this is downhill as well, so I definitely would have preferred Xander Schauffele's over Tommy Fleetwood's, but he has been rolling the ball beautifully. So downhill trickler breaking off his right.
Yeah, well done, Tommy Fleetwood. 6 under par on his round. And he birdies one of the most difficult holes on the golf course, number 7. He's only 3 back of Rory McIlroy. We watched him on Thursday in our feature group coverage and was over par most of the round, scrapping it round, didn't find many fairways. And here he is here, look at that, just 3 strokes off the lead in a share of 4th. Rory McIlroy leading the way here at the Genesis Scottish Open in round 3. Brilliant round from Eric Cole, Tom Kim, the 20-year-old, 3rd here last year.
Tyrrell Hatton still waiting to ignite his round. Move a little closer to the leaders.
Marcel Schneider, the German, played well in Singapore earlier this year, even par through 11 holes. Didn't expect to see the world number 1 Scotty Scheffler over par through 9 holes. He's alongside Padraig Harrington. Minwoo Lee was 1 over par early on today. Good fight back, couple under through 12.
Awkward flag here on 15. 24 on 6 off the right. But there's a host of little slopes all around the flag. Smart play.
Yeah, good shot. Victor Hovland's, you mentioned Jordan Spieth's index finger yesterday. Victor Hovland's kind of in that same bracket as well. It looks like it's about 5 feet long, that index finger.
I can never take my eyes off Jordan Spieth's left forefinger. Just sort of floats free of the grip of the club. It's different. Left of the flag, middle of the green is not a bad play here.
He's gone the other way, it looks like. Tony came out of it.
It's come out totally and utterly dead.
We saw Victor Hovland have a nightmare here earlier at the 8th, sent it off into those tall trees on the right hand side. It's an awkward tee shot. It plays quite significantly uphill. The 3 fairway bunkers that you've got to avoid. Tyrrell Hatton was aggressive yesterday with the driver, but most players will take 3-wood coming up short of those bunkers, and it's not easy from there either, Tony.
Second hardest hole on the course today so far. It's always a tough test. 7, 8 and 9. Man, it's a brutal stretch of holes.
Yeah, it's just a tough driving hole, to be honest. Most players looking to hug the left-hand side. It does camber left to right, but then the rough can get quite thick, and then it's a long second shot in, so it's pretty tough that way. Fairway metal for Tommy Fleetwood.
Yeah, just to the base of that slope. And you know what, if it feeds back a little, it's a good thing. If it doesn't go in a divot, flatter lie.
This is interesting. Driver in hand for Garrick Higo. You've got 3 fairway bunkers. The first one to reach is 285, but he's looking to blast this down the left. So spectators, if you're listening, watch out. Scared them for no reason.
Fabulous drive.
Yeah, that was a really good drive from Higo. Quite gutsy as well, going for that. Definitely puts more trouble into play, which is why these two guys are going with the fairway metal. Just laying back a little bit makes that fairway feel a bit wider.
Going a bit left needs a big kick. No, too far left. Oh, he's got a lie there, I think. That's a good break. Yannick Paul in some slightly, well, some very juicy stuff. Had to gouge it out.
Yannick Paul will be heading to the range, no doubt, after he has some lunch. Usually a wonderful ball striker. It's just been quite as sharp today for the German. As always, great crowds out here at the Genesis Scottish Open. And one of the great things that I really enjoy seeing about the galleries these days is it's really bringing in a very diverse demographic as well. You see young people, older people, men, women. Great to see. Third shot for Ollison at 15. Pretty well done.
Wow. Went the aerial route with a massive swing. I thought he might be trying to dump and run that, but he's played it very well.
Yannick Paul from the very back left side of the green here at 15. Difficult one to gauge the pace. Well down. Bit of a grind at the moment for the German. The Firth of Forth. It's calm out there at the moment. We do not expect it to be that way later today and tomorrow. McIlroy 13 under, 2 strokes ahead of Cole and Tom Kim. Victor Hovland, birdie putt this to get to 2 under par for the round. Ollison and Paul, his playing partners, both 2 under par for the round. Go. Yeah, well done, Victor Hovland. The last 90 minutes of his round has just been filled with utter frustration, but he's grinding it out beautifully.
Variety of tee shots here at 8. Quite like where Fleetwood is. He's on a flat lie before the big upslope. I know it's a tighter angle to that right flag, but it's a tough flag to get at from any angle. The trouble is, if you go safe left of this flag, you've got a wickedly fast putt down the slope just short of it. A little bit of planning required.
A lot of discussion between Xander and his caddy Austin Kaiser. Ball well below his feet. Wispy grass. Contrary to what you think with ball below your feet. Certainly with some longer grass. Easy to pull this one and overcompensate. Watch how stable his lower half stays here. Right heel stayed down a long time. Great balance. Played for the jumper and it didn't jump.
A bit more of a blind second shot for Tommy Fleetwood. The closer up you get to those fairway bunkers, the less you can see. It's got 165 yards left of this flag, and it's a cheeky one. Anything right, there's a big runoff area. You've got a few pot bunkers as well. The safety's just left of this pin. And it's just a little bit into breeze, if anything. I mean, it's really died down, but with a southerly wind direction, it's into off the left. Playing a few yards uphill as well, so make it a 170 shot. It's a perfect 8 iron.
He's hit some beautiful iron shots today, even by his lofty standards. Where's that?
Just below the little ridge there. A little bit short left, but it's okay.
"160 yards for Garrett Higo, and just left of this flag there's a bit of a mini mound, so if you're about 4 yards left of it, it might even kick right, but if you're too far left, it's going to kick left. Looking to draw this one.
Good flag for Higo. Posing. Floating up in the wind as well.
Just a tough hole, end of story. Olesen missing his par putt.
Well, just out of position really off the tee. Two-shot swing between him and Hovland. They're both on 6 under par for the tournament, which is where Yannick Paul, the third member of this group, stands.
And this to stay with them both. Par putt.
What's your favourite Scottish Open venue, Tony? Played a lot and seen a lot.
You know, I never did play here, but if it had been here, I would have had to say this might have been it. I just love this golf course. We've played some great ones over the years. We used to play at Glen Eagles quite a lot. The King's Course at Glen Eagles. Oh, very nicely holed.
Rattled that one in, didn't he? Straight in the back of the cup. All three players walk off this green at 6 under par for the tournament.
Gullen, just down the road, also fantastic.
All three players in this group see work to do for 2 putts.
Yeah, absolutely, especially Xander Schauffele. This is quite a tricky one to read. It's all uphill from one tier to another. It's going to break off his right. And then right towards the end, it almost works away from you, so it can get quite quick. I always feel whenever it runs away from you beyond the hole, it's very easy to leave it short and difficult to get it up there. But when you've got such a lengthy putt, you need to hit it.
Yeah, you're concerned about hitting it too hard and running away from you. Overcompensate.
But these guys are good.
Yeah, they play all right, don't they? Sanders Schauffele guy's got a big future. You got to think he's going to win a major championship sooner or later. Knocked on the door so many times.
Can he get one to the hole? Still not quite. But from where he was, that's a decent effort. Hovland going to absolutely cane this one on the par 5 16th. But has he controlled the direction? That's fine. That's fine.
It's a very similar sort of putt for Garrett Higo. Would have had a good look at Xander Schauffele's putt there. Up and over the ridge and just trying to work off his right towards the end. Xander's ball marker, in fact, bang on his line. So moving it one to the left. It's a really tough pin. You can imagine people going at this flag. If you go slightly long or right, it's a goner. Everything kicks away from you.
He's certainly taking his time in reading this one, isn't he?
Yeah, like I said, he had a good look at it, of what Xander Schauffele's putt's done. So he should have a reasonably good idea of what this is going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And the longer he takes, you can only think it's just pure indecision.
You'd think, having seen Xander's, he would know everything he needs to know about it.
It's tracking.
Go.
Oh.
Nice effort.
Go cleaning that one up. Even par with one remaining for the day. Yannick Paul, 2 under on the round. Par 5, 16th.
You have to think that dip puts a bit of strain on the lower back. It looked like it nestled down, unfortunately.
Well, I mentioned there was a bit of a mini mound left of this pin, so for Tommy Fleetwood, this is moving off his left.
This to move into a share of second, but woefully short.
Don't you talk about my height. Oh, sorry, you're talking about Tommy's putt. Sorry.
No. I was talking about you. I remember one of the first tournaments that I ever watched as a kid, 1992 US Masters, which Craig Parry led the Australian going into the final round, but round 3 he played with Ian Woosnam.
Yeah.
Paz was easily the tallest.
Yes, that's saying something. Woozy, man, he was strong, wasn't he?
Has there been, well, I was going to say, has there been a better long iron player? I mean, of course, Sandy Lyle was brilliant, but Woozy was so good, wasn't he?
Just so good. And long, you know, for a guy that was short of stature, he was so powerful.
Fleetwood, par putt to remain 10 under in a share of 4th. Well done.
I think he's ready. I think he's ready for an Open Championship win.
I agree. I really do. I think he's got a huge chance next week. Top 5 at the US Open Championship. He went so close back in 2018 at Shinnecock Hills, shot that 63 in the final round, came up one shy of Koepka, but it would just make sense next week, wouldn't it? I mean, ultimately it would be Birkdale, where he grew up, but Royal Liverpool not far from there. It would be a popular win. Schauffele for par. This would be one of the more disappointing 3 under par rounds for Schauffele.
Yeah, you're spot on. Spot on. He's out the blocks so fast, looking so good. Couldn't put a foot wrong. Opened up birdie, par, then a hat-trick of birdies, and then nothing since.
Yannick Paul's become very familiar with this long grass today. Gouging it out with just a wedge.
We shall see where that finished. Looked to have a horrible lie. 9th hole, 195 yards today. 4th hardest hole on the course. All the pins up in the back third of the green. 27 yards from the front today, just 4 off the left. And you've got that little shoulder feeding into the green on the left side of the green, and the wind a little bit into and off the left. Wow, Lindsay, how do you get it close to this pin?
Yeah, it's pretty tricky, I would say. I'm just on the left-hand side of the green, and a pin-high left miss is actually absolutely fine. The trouble is, if you're short and left, it can leave you with a really awkward one because you've got a bit of a mound in your way as well. So it can leave you with a bit of a fiddler. 195 yards to go.
How's the wind doing out there, Lindsay? Still blowing a bit?
Yeah, I mean, right now it's flat calm. I'm looking up at the clouds and they're definitely moving quite slowly. It's just died down quite a lot. Earlier this morning it was about maybe 15 miles an hour, gusts of 25, but it's really calm right now. It just feels as though it's a good opportunity to hit one more good shot, give yourself a chance for birdie. Perfect shots, draw with a 6-iron.
He likes it, Incy.
All over it.
Well, he should. What a cracking shot from Tommy Fleetwood.
So that's how you get it close. Great shot.
How good's his iron play been?
Brilliant.
Well, as a left-handed golfer, it's important to move this right to left, which is a fade, of course. And when you're doing that with the wind into off the left, you're actually playing it against the breeze a bit, so it's going to hold up in the air. So instead, clubbing up a touch. Just an easy massage 5-iron for Garrett Higo.
Solid. It's made to look average by Fleetwood's result, but that's a good shot.
Yeah, that'll be a very popular place on 9 today, right there.
Yeah, it was a really good shot. You hit this into the heart of the green and it leaves you with a nice putt for the next. Awesome atmosphere with Rory's group in front. It's near the tented village as well. Xander Schauffele, 195 yards to go to this left flag.
That was all over it. A little bit short, but not a bad result. Oh, once again, Tony Johnstone, we've been treated to some wonderful golf today from our featured group. This man in particular, Tommy Fleetwood, 6 under par for the round as he plays his final hole. And this is exactly how he's done it. Starting off on 10, eagle putt.
Yeah, not being too cute, just nudging it up hole side, tapping birdie. Lovely start.
The second hole of the day, number 11. Pours an 8-footer in the middle. 2 under through 2 holes.
14, long putt. You'd think, take 2 putts and get out of here.
Wasn't that the one that was 7 feet on our graphic?
Just rams it into the back of the hole.
3 under through 5 holes, and then his wedge here at 15, 6th hole of the day, taking dead aim. And we haven't seen anyone even close to getting it that close to the flag at 15. 4 under through 6.
The bogey 17, but an immediate bounce back at 18, dead center. Out in 31. Making a statement.
Made a birdie at the par 5 third to be 5 under par for the round, and then at the very difficult par 4 7th. Beautiful approach, he'd roll that in, 6 under par for the round. I'm not sure there's any players in the field that make birdies at 17 and 18, in 7 and 18, excuse me, in the same round. And then he's just hit this tee shot at the par 3 9th, his final hole, and that coming up for a round of 63.
There will not be too many closer than that today. There've only been 3 birdies at the 9th all day. Can Mr. Fleetwood make it 4? That would be nice.
How many putts has he had today, do you think? 13 green, so he's missed 5 and he's got that for 7. It's got to be about 23 putts to here.
I'm just having a look.
I love watching you with the mouse scrolling on that computer. I'm waiting for the screen to go off.
I'm just trying to make it look like I know what I'm doing. I'm clueless. 25 so far.
Very impressive. All round, it's been terrific golf today.
Tony, you're pretty good at what you do, aren't you?
According to me.
Now, according to all of us. A lengthy birdie putt for Garrett Higo coming up. It's uphill, breaking off the left. There's a bit of a mound that I described earlier today. It's going to influence this putt. So moving to his right. Not a crazy amount though, no more than a foot, I would say.
Incy, how brilliant are the par threes on this golf course?
Absolutely love it. The sixth is definitely my favourite by far. But yeah, they're all pretty challenging. You miss the green, leaves you with a pretty tough up and down. Challenges the players.
Nice looking stroke. Oh, good try, good try.
Yeah, good effort today from Garrett Higo. Round of even par 70, 3 over par through 9 holes. Long birdie putt at the par 5 16th for Yannick Paul, excuse me. Made a mess of this hole. Long rough off the tee. Didn't find the fairway with his layup. I don't think he'd be too disappointed with 2 under par for the round, given where he's hit some of his tee shots. Xander Schauffele back at 9.
Yeah, this was a beauty. From this angle, it's going to take a little bit more break. Give it at least 2 feet or so. You can see Austin. I never know if I should say Austin or Austin. English accent or American
Austin.
accent?
Austin.
Exactly. Well, he's given the line to Xander, and it's definitely swinging off his left. It's a real team effort, this.
I guess if you're from New York, it's A-W-W-W-W-W-S-T-I-N, right? Austin.
Putt for birdie, this would be nice.
Well, he deserves it. 5 under par through 9 holes. Been a difficult second 9 for Xander Schauffele. Is to move inside the top 10.
Little birdie finish. How would that go down?
No, it can't stay there.
You're joking.
I can't believe it. He's been putting so well. He's had so many of those, but it's just skirted the edge.
Thought the breeze might topple that into the hole.
Can you say that's a very disappointing 67?
Yeah, I think you can. You know, after the first 7 holes, I thought, you know, this might be a 63 or 64 today.
Oh, what a chance this would be. Just a hint off his left as well. This would be a brilliant way to finish.
You've been spoilt again, Incy.
I absolutely have. Crowd favourite in this group. Let's see it drop. We'll hear it.
That is a sensational round for Tommy Fleetwood. Finishes with a birdie, a round of 7 under par 63, 11 under par for the championship, and he is in a share of second. Could I be right with that prediction 4.5 hours ago?
Well, I hope not, because my goodness, are we going to hear about it? But it was a good shot, I have to admit. It was a great shot. And what a round. 8 birdies, 1 bogey. Tommy Fleetwood. This is the perfect build-up for the Open Championship, really. It's just perfect. Olesen, eagle putt, found the par 5 green in 2. That took some good work.
Don't forget he eagled the other par 5 this side, but, well, that was in until he pulled the putter away. It's a birdie, 7 under par. It's inside the top 20, share of 17th. Got to think that if that breeze starts to get up a little bit again, or that bad weather starts to move in, McIlroy 13 under par. Tommy Fleetwood equals second. Very good chance he will be in that final group tomorrow.
McIlroy still got 9 holes to go.
Could be very bunched if he doesn't go under par the back nine. Hovland, birdie putt to move to 3 under par for the round. You little beauty. He's actually held some very good putts today. He too is inside the top 20 despite 3 over day one. Double bogey today, a soft bogey almost driving the 13th.
And as you say it, Ewan, just suddenly look at the grass in the background. You can hear it on our microphones out there. That wind has just suddenly picked up a bit.
It's been a little inconsistent today. You heard Incy say earlier, gusting up to 15-20 miles an hour, and then it died right off. It's just starting to pick up a little bit again. Of course, tomorrow forecasted to be very windy. Danik Paul, par putt. Stays at 6 under par. Now trailing his playing partners, Hovland and Olesen. Let's have a look at how things stand here on day 3 of the Genesis Scottish Open, the third of 5 Rolex Series events on the season. Eric Cole's dropped a shot at 17. He's back to 10 under, so Tommy Fleetwood shares second with Tom Kim. McIlroy with that 2-shot lead still. Lowry's made a move today, as too as JT Poston. Tyrrell Hatton going the other direction, surprisingly. Ben Arn, hard to follow up that 61 on day 1, but still inside the top 10. When I speak to Ewan Ferguson, I feel like I'm talking in third person every time I talk to him. Ewan just doesn't sound right.
Jordan Smith having a great day as well. 3 under. Lee Hodges, Matt Wallace, nice little bounce back.
Padraig Harrington 1 over for the round, but regardless of what he does today or tomorrow, even if he finishes 50th, he's got to be a dark horse for next week, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I mean, we know how much he loves links golf, we know how much he loves the Open Championship, and we know how good he still is.
He's played some incredible golf ever since turning 50, and in fact he finished 4th at the PGA Championship at Kiowa as a 50-year-old. And that flew under the radar because Mickelson won as a 50-year-old. Par 3, 17th. Of course, Genesis vehicles up for grabs for hole-in-one here. First player to make a hole-in-one, him and his caddy, will win a Genesis GV60 and a GV70 electrified. I would take that.
Well, I think it's a great gesture that the caddy gets a vehicle as well.
Flighting it down, Victor Hovland. Could this go in? You want to be a little right of the flag. Just a little deep. They've been very savvy putting the vehicle up for grabs on this hole, because if you make it 2, you should get at least the wheels or something.
Jordan Smith last year, it happened. Genesis would love to give 2 vehicles away. I know they would. It's a great ad, it's a great gesture. And you'll have a very happy player and caddy. Can't blame the players for trying to leave this right of the flag, because just left of it, it goes down into that big bowl down there. And that is such a slow putt, and the flag is cut just above the ridge. So easy to give that putt a smash and knock it 10 feet by.
Did you ever win any prizes for an ace?
Only 3 cars.
Only 3 cars.
Only 3 cars. Very sad about that. I know guys who made 8 or 10 holes in one. I never even got a bottle of champagne, and they hate me for it.
3 vehicles, wow.
Choose your holes wisely. Oh my.
No, he's just had the lefts today, hasn't he, Yannick Paul?
Wow. You know, I think he was trying to fade that into that flag maybe. And get it up on that right hand tier and just absolutely double crossed himself. That won't be much fun. Actually, I've got to tell you, one of those cars I'm lying was for a 2 on the 18th at Moore Park in the 4 Stars tournament. And I absolutely duffed my drive. I mean, it was a drive and a 9-iron. I flat out duffed my drive and hold a 3-iron and won the car.
The right strategy in the end. I remember an Australian golfer who won on the PGA Tour actually years ago, Nathan Green.
Yeah.
When he started out his professional career, he was playing the Australian Masters, which Colin Montgomery actually won that year, but he turned pro. Nathan had turned pro less than 12 months prior, and I think he was about 5 shots off the lead with 7 holes to play in the final round. So he was having a very nice tournament. Made a hole-in-one on the 12th, won $500,000 for it. Ended up finishing second to Monty, so I think he made $180 for runner-up.
Wow.
He's walked away with almost $700,000 for finishing second in the tournament.
Something special.
And his career just took off from there. All of a sudden, he didn't have to worry about money.
Makes a big difference. You know, my late great friend John Bland, he made 38 holes in one in his life. And on the Champions Tour, they all used to put money in the kitty every week. And the kitty would build and build and build. Boom, he'd take the lot. And after he'd done that 3 times, they all said, forget this. This is just the John Bland pension fund.
How do you make 38 hole-in-ones?
I know.
Jimenez has got to be getting up there too.
Yeah.
He holds a lot of shots.
A much, much missed and loved man, John Bland. Passed away just over 2 months ago.
Yeah, very sad. Saw Richie Ramsey there at 5 under par. There was footage of Richie Ramsey holding about a 5-foot putt late yesterday afternoon to make the cut on the number and gave it the big fist pump. Meant a lot to him making the cut here in his home open. Sammy Velamaki having a tough day, but great player, having a good season, the young Finn. There's ball positions, just nobody anywhere near the flag really today at 17. It's an evil pin.
So tough to get it anywhere near, isn't it? Look at those slopes.
Oh, Yannick Paul, this is not going to be easy. Tony, I can tell you, I know from experience, that coffee cart in the background, flat white it's called, fantastic coffees.
You can sniff out a good coffee from 800 yards away, can't you?
I'll tell you what, it's been pretty upsetting the last couple of mornings how early we have to leave coming here to the golf course, and there's just the only thing open for a coffee is McDonald's on the drive here. It's a 50-minute drive here from my hotel. Now, bear in mind that I've got to admit the double espresso I've been having from there isn't too bad, but
well, you've
a little
come
bit
in,
more.
You have come in, you're bouncing around like the Duracell bunny, so it hasn't been that bad.
We've got to talk non-stop for 5.5 hours. I need something.
No, we're both coffee lovers. Anything coffee flavoured, actually. Coffee cake, coffee sweets, coffee ice cream. Whew, this is a test. Got to bump and run this. Figure out where you're going to land it, figure out the club, figure out just how much pace you're going to have when you get it over that ridge.
Go. Stay there, stay.
That's inches away from going back to 50 feet away. Well done.
He's an impressive young man, Yannick Paul. Has a great personality. Really, really good fella. It's been a struggle today, but again, a little like Gary Kigo. You really you'd never know by looking at his demeanour. And I guess the question I have is, t-shirt and beanie combination. Is it cold or is it hot? Which one is it?
I'll let you know. Yeah, Germany is just churning out some fine young players. A host of them.
How much is Bernard Langer then? Inspiration, still winning at the age of 65.
The man's a freak of nature. US Seniors Open the other day.
46 wins, a record.
Oldest winner ever.
10 feet of break here for Olesen coming up and over the ridge.
Wow. Oh,
He
no.
needed to allow for 15. That's coming back down the hill.
Oh, no.
Stay there.
Tell you what, that just shows how great a chip Yannick Paul's just hit. Because his was a lot tougher. And the worst part about that is the embarrassment factor. You feel like such an idiot when you do that. And you don't look up, you just keep looking at the ground because you know the spectators will be smiling, going, ooh, I could have done better.